All right, all right. Happy Thursday, y'all. This is your boy, D Exclusive with DXWorldMedia.com, where dreams choose you. Hope you're all enjoying your day today. We had a really crazy rain yesterday in California yesterday, Southern California, so I got all wet on my motorcycle. But yeah, we're back at it. I hope you guys are doing well. Just want to start every episode with a disclaimer. Remember, this is for informational purposes. This is just for us to create a safe place for us to talk about relationships, intimacy, and to help us face the hardness of intimacy and relationships. So please, if you're seeking professional help, please seek out a certified therapist or whatnot, or a hotline that deals with whatever you're dealing with at this time. All right? All right, so today's episode, we're going to ask ChatGPT, what are the reasons people form or seek romantic relationships? Why do we even couple up? You know what I'm saying? The first few episodes, we've talked about what is intimacy and how to tell when someone is attracted to you, is what we talked about last few episodes. So now we're talking about, like, what are the reasons we are getting coupled up romantically? And let's see what ChatGPT says. Yo, ChatGPT, let me know what you think of this. Ay, come on, chat. All right, here we go. What are the reasons people couple up or choose to be in romantic relationships? All right, let's see what chat says. Here we go. Oh man, the first one is an obvious the reason why people do it. Let's see, chat, how many you got for us today? Looks like we're going back to the 10. Oh, yep, we're going to 10. All right, so we got 10 things to look at real quick in the next 60 minutes. People couple up or choose to be in romantic relationships for a variety of reasons, which we all knew, which can be influenced by individual preferences, personal experiences, cultural factors, how we're raised, and some common reasons. They include, number 1, companionship. Number 2, love and affection. 3, physical intimacy. 4, emotional fulfillment. 5, shared values and goals. 6, societal or social expectations. You're expected to be in a relationship. I think a lot of politicians do that on purpose. They just get married up with the most respectable young lady or man and then go into politics. 7, complementary traits. You complement, drawn to possess complementary traits or qualities that complement each other. Family and social support. Your family might encourage you or expect you to be in a relationship and be out of their house. 9, personal growth. And the last one, the desire for children and family. Wow. That threw me off. I mean, maybe it's at number 10 because now in 2024, the population is so huge, we're not really trying to have kids. You know, back in the day, we had kids to help us run a business or a farm or to survive, to help us find more resources after we raise them to about 10 to 15. We would have them help around the house in survival and go out do the gender roles, you know? And that's what you heard in history before. I think for me personally, I think I've always been in long-term relationships because that's my type of situation. I've always been drawn to the committed part. Like, I want to be with you, and not only you. I want to stay with you. You know. And the main thing was for me, was the physical. I really sought it for the physical. And then the back of my mind was the desire for children and family. Um, then companionship. That's how it was for me. It was more like, whoa, get back over there. There it is. All right, now that we had all 10 said, let's go over number one and each one actually real quick. So companionship, many people seek romantic relationships for companionship and emotional support. Being in a relationship allows individuals to share their lives with someone else, creating a sense of closeness or connection. Yeah, that should be number one. I like that one at number one. It just creates a sense of belonging. I mean, that's why as a society, as groups, when we're working together, we click up with common interests or things that we could just pass our time for and stuff, talk about stories, whatever. Number two, the love and affection. We get together in a romantic relationship because of our love and affection for one of each other, often driving forces behind the romantic relationships. People seek romantic partners whom they care about deeply and with whom they can intimate moments of affection and emotional connection. Come on, chat. That was a little bit redundant. I think they're being really real general here because it's love and affection. It's hard to define what is love for someone. Affection is all not universal as well. I mean, we all seek it, but there's so many different ways to do it. My top three: physical intimacy. I really like that dopamine kick when you have after a intimate physical moment. When you finish and when you get your partner to finish. I really like that more, actually. I like to try to set my partner up to finish first. Sometimes they're just there to help me finish, so they just kind of pass on their deserving finish, but I try to help them get to their finish as well. So the physical connection or attraction and sexual compatibility are important factors for many individuals in romantic relationships. The problem is, like, a lot of people, as we grow up, the people I've talked to in my life, no one really talks about sex about it. Like, yeah, I got with her. But you don't really talk about how it makes you feel, like your feelings about sex or intimacy. And that's one reason why I want to create this environment for us to chat down below in the comments and for you guys to know who I am and allow you to use me as an emotional mirror. So whatever we share in our private sessions, in the relationship coaching sessions, the happiness coaching, I will be able to listen to your story and just let you express it in a safe environment where it goes back to you, whatever you're trying to say to yourself and to your partner, and then you'll be able to feel more confident in talking to your partner about whatever's bothering you with your relationships so you can improve on your communication. The fourth one, emotional fulfillment. Romantic relationships can provide emotional fulfillment and validation. Having a partner who understands, supports, appreciates you can attribute to feelings of happiness, self-fulfillment, and self-worth. That's very true. The problem in most relationships, though, we're not even able to talk about our emotions with ourselves, and we feel embarrassed to talk about our emotions to other people, that even in our romantic relationships, we have a hard time saying what we feel. It takes a lot of humility and respect to yourself to say, yeah, I'm feeling this way about something. How can we work on this? Because what I want is kind of what you have, or what do I do for you and the family I need to be heard about it, where I'm reassured that I'm doing the right thing. I've either taken over time when we could be spending time as family. That's simple. But then there comes in the time where you as parents or romantic partners, you have to decide on what you're going to be disciplined on and what you're going to have to sacrifice to get what you need done, especially in finances. That one's a really hard one. And I think that's, if you look at the statistics, you probably would find a lot of people divorce over money and sex because They either don't know how to talk about it or they don't know how to make it a we problem instead of a you and me problem. What can I do and what can you do in the situation? We both need to do something different because whatever we've done so far has not been working. We're either in debt or we're spending too much here, which causes more debt, or we're not being physically intimate enough. In my opinion, this would what worked for me, what would work for you, and hopefully after you both share what you both want, hopefully there's like a place that you could agree on, a neutral ground where you're like, yeah, that'd be cool to do it like that, impromptu, like. And then, so for example, you could either be a scheduling of intimacy, but that's kind of takes away the romantic gestures, like coming up behind your partner while they're just doing dishes and making it more of a romantic activity, like either just coming up and blowing behind their ear, hugging them behind their waist. That's one way you can make it more intimate and physical in your household. You know, there's other ones that you could brainstorm with your partner. You know, what to this point, what have I've done that you've liked? You know, what works for you? And then you just go and say, and this works for me. You coming home and just dropping everything, even undressing a little bit and making out with me on the couch works for me. Or like I just said, I noticed that my partner really loves for me to come up behind them when they're doing the dishes, or maybe a little jump scare, like wait at the door of the restroom. I kind of like doing that. I think I need to double check my partner about that one though. But I mean, her response is pretty good. After you establish emotional fulfillment, you could also be in a relationship for shared values. Many people seek partners who share their values, beliefs, and life goals. Like in the next 5 years, I'd like to have a kid. If you're both on the same page, that relationship should work a lot better than the ones that are like, I don't think I'm gonna have kids until I'm 30, but you're 20. That's like 10 years. And then one or both of you are like, eh. And then the thing about any of these things, as you get into a relationship, as time goes by, your comfortability and your ability to talk about these will increase, but also things will shift. A little sidestep, Say you were into nipple pinching, and then you're like, I'm a little too, I'm not feeling that anymore as much. I want to try something else. So then you suggest something else, maybe more of just under the boob, grab or something. Or, like what I first said was that kids, like say 10 years, but then after a year, you're like, you know what? You make me feel really safe. I think we should start a family in the next 3 years instead of until I'm 30. I was second guessing that about my physical body. I think it would be better to do that sooner, stuff like that. Social expectations. This one is more of the expectations outside of you, but it's by your society. So your societal norms and expectations can influence people's decisions to couple up or pursue romantic relationships. In many cultures, being in a romantic relationship or getting married is seen as a milestone. So at this age, you should be married by this age, or you should be married or have a long-term relationship after college. There might be those values set early on in your childhood, and you have to decide if you agree with that value. The problem is, and I see where the frustration is that the people that are pressuring you to be like their way of thinking, you're going to feel isolated, almost like they're going to never talk to you again. And here's where you got to have your self-worth in check, your self-values. With my one life, what do I want? And just answer it. And respectfully say, you know what? I've noticed that you really want me to get married at this certain age, but I have a different plan for myself. I don't agree with that. And I know you're going to be hurt by that. If you want, we could talk about why it hurts you so much. A lot, like put it back on them, because like You're not hurt by your values. You're not hurt. You're only worried that they're going to be hurt. So you caring about them reverses and kind of like submits you into something you don't want to do. So I guess there has to be either a talk or an understanding, like, hey, this is how it's going to be with this person, and find ways to support that person when you disagree in a way. It's very hard, though. A lot of parents, I dated a girl that just because, well, I mean, they had things they didn't like about me, but those things make me the character I am, the presenting character that you see today. Very outgoing, entertaining, honest, and willing to cross boundaries and open, they made it sound like I would never be, I mean, they're not supposed to try to tame me like a fucking stallion or anything, but we could learn from each other, as families. I know my family was kind of just way too open and liberal, whatever you would say, and they're way more conservative. Like, the girl I was dating had to be married before moving out, but we were already together for 4 years. And looking back, learning financial education would have been a smart thing to do because neither of us knew how to spend money. We're always eating out. I was spending money on gas to see her every day. There was little habits that were formed based on what we wanted out of the relationship, but we could have created a different type of relationship. So that's why when I was talking about intimacy in episode 2, is that you got to really understand your own intimacy, your own values, your own desires of life, if you will. So you could share them with potential partners while you're dating and get to know people. And, I see this as an issue, a problem. I'm not going to be able to continue this romantic way. I'm going to have to not talk to you for a while. And this is very hard for me because I really like you physically and all these other characteristics, but this is basically a deal breaker. And I don't really want to work on it together at this moment. Or you could come at it like, look, these are the things I see wrong, or the things that are bothering me, and I noticed that would not really work if we did become more serious or live together. So why don't we try to work on them right now while we're not living together, where we're not more permanent, where we're more like dating or long-term relationship right now, so we can feel more comfortable. We use the pronoun we in your relationship. We. See, Francie. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this tangent, but I want to get back to here. We were talking about social expectations. Now we're on number 7, which is the complementary traits. People may be drawn to partners who possess complementary. For example, introverted individuals may be attracted to extroverted. So complementary is more of not opposites, but it is. But it's more of where the opposite makes you feel good. Like, I'm really outgoing, so me having a submissive wife really makes me feel safe and validated because she's quieter. She's not trying to draw the attention away from me. But in that dynamic, I've got to recognize that and quiet down sometimes purposefully and consistently through the relationship so she can be validated, or find other ways to validate her outside of attention. Maybe attention is not her validation. Maybe her attention is just taking her somewhere she's wanted to go for the last few weeks or something, or making her some food, which is why, oh my God. And I love how this podcast and this intimacy and this relationships is basically the bread and butter of the reason I've written Morning After Delight. Morning After Delight is a cookbook that I have 12 recipes. They could buy from me directly from the author. I'm an independent author, basically digitally self-published. So when you go to morningafterdelight.com, you'll see my PayPal and my book, and then I'll send you and email you the book. It's only $9.99. Please support the page, the channel, and let us fly with this, man. This is going to be an awesome time. This whole year is going to be an amazing time to really document discussions about intimacy and relationships. And as we get more traction and more viewers and more people really wanting to hear things that me and ChatGPT come up with, I really hope you guys will enjoy future guests. And hopefully guests can see me. If you find me now, hey, let's hook up. DM me this. Talk about where you fit into this journey I'm on with this Morning After Delight podcast. Where do you want to come in? Do you want me to just maybe do a live session with someone, like, or with you, for the viewers to learn from your story? That's one thing I'm willing to open to do. If you guys want to come to the studio and just sit with me and you just like tell me your story and you tell me what you notice about your relationship, and I'll be your emotional mirror on camera, and then we'll figure it out together, and that will help hopefully viewers see it from their point of view if they're in their same situation. Number 8, ChatGPT says family and societal support. I like how they put support here instead of expectations. Let's see what it says. Being in a romantic relationship can provide a source of societal or social support and belonging. Having a partner who is there for you during challenging times and celebrations can strengthen your sense of connection and belonging. The way I interpret that is that, I guess, if you're in a romantic relationship, you bring your boyfriend or girlfriend to either family drama or family celebrations, makes it more tolerable to deal with and celebrate, those celebrations. I don't think this is very high. You don't get with someone just to bring them home so you could face and celebrate, though. I mean, maybe subconsciously we've done that. But it gets tricky. I mean, we definitely need to talk about the pros and cons. Ooh, that's a good one. Pros and cons of living with a girlfriend or partner at your home and living with their family. Those are pros and cons. And then the pros and cons of moving out on your own. I think that would be a good one. Maybe we should do that next week, because that one, a lot of couples, probably young couples especially, try to like, man, I really want to help take care of my family, but I'm in this really serious relationship and I don't really want to leave yet. That's a very complex situation, because when those situations where it's usually where you're trying to be a caregiver at your home and your child, even though a lot of people, I mean, even some families have all adult children still living there and they all have their boyfriend and girlfriends. They may be all living together and it's a multi-family household. It's not that common, but it's mainly common. One of the main supporting children have a live-in girlfriend or boyfriend, and then things could get out of hand or get misunderstood, and it just gets super complicated. But leading up to that decision of moving in your partner, I think that's where the complicated part really happens. I think why is it a value of your family is to keep you at home? Is it based on a parent in sick or in need? Is it based on a religious or value that you have to be married before you move out? There's a lot of different variables that you could imagine, or emotional constraints that prevent you from moving out. Or is it more of you're like, I can't really afford to move out, so why don't we stay here or make a plan to stay here for a year and then move out? But before you make that plan, I really want to help you identify what are the real emotional reasons you're not moving out to create your own. I mean, this is California, so it's super expensive. So I could see the benefits of creating a family. But the problem I've noticed, especially in my family, that whenever we've done it, we've had new partners move in or whatever, and then like the family unit is added, but there's no head of family. That's the problem. I think that's what we're lacking in America right now, is there's the head of family is not really defined. Sometimes both parents are involved in decision making, sometimes one is only, but then that one doesn't follow through on certain values or decisions they've made in the past, and let toxic partners move in where it creates problems. Or they let adult children, stay in the household when they are toxic to the family. And that's a very hard thing to be as a parent. I'm still parenting underage kids, so when I deal with that later in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have a totally different discussion about that. And I'm hoping that with my background of learning about myself through my degree in counseling, that I'll be able to have a better mind frame or word communication. And with all the work that we're doing here in Morning After Delight, I think this will help me form my ideas and what I think is right or can be right, because some right and wrongs are right in one moment, but maybe not right in the other moment. But that goes off on what you think of in the moment anyway. Number 9, we got personal growth. Some romantic relationships offer opportunities for personal self-discovery. Sometimes in sex. I think that one is first on my mind always, because with one or both partners being experienced, you're sharing new discoveries of sex. The other thing is more of like the sharing of family values from the past and what you're going to build in the future. You don't really talk about it like that in that way, but you kind of like mesh and muddle all the ideas. So that's why it's important to have a happiness coach or a professional therapist help you identify the words and language to learn how to talk to your partner about those different values, and learning how to deal with whatever feelings you get from them. Because whenever you start sharing feelings and desires or values, and when they don't meet, you're going to have conflict. So then you're going to start fighting. So basically, in any romantic relationship, you really need to learn, and as soon as possible, how to fight. Now, when I'm upset with you about something, what would be something that you would be okay with me disagreeing or fighting you with? Like how would you like me to fight with you? Like, would you like me to? Wait, actually, with this, not you. That's how can we fight better? Ooh, that's a good one. How can we fight better? I don't think people talk about that. Because when you start thinking, how can we fight better? You think of ways that we could fight and end the resolution as quick as possible. Almost like an UFC fight. How can you fight better? How we could defeat the problem. Now remember, when you're in a relationship, the problem is not you or I. It's the conflict of ideas. The ideas and the emotions of the past, the things you want in the future, those are the things that are fighting, not you. You're just the messenger. So we need to figure out how we could get these ideas to fight through us, but where we could find a common ground to let them fight in a more agreed upon way, I guess, almost like an arena, But even as I'm talking to you right now, it seems so hard to do. Like, it's easy for me to say it right now because I'm not fighting with anyone in this room. I'm just me and you guys. But it's a good way to try to start thinking outside the box. I think that's what I love about what I bring to the table as a happiness coach, is that I have this brain that just like fires. It just clicks. It just attacks. It helps. It's almost like a detective, Columbo, Batman, whatever your historical or fictional whatever detective is, Sherlock Holmes. Like, I really love and get passionate about learning how to dissect relationships and getting people to agree on things and making it work. And so that's why I like to work on happiness coaching with people, so I can help them get better with themselves. And then when they bring in their partner conflicts, help their partner and or help them learn how to talk to their partner. And they find a way to make a happiest life or a purposeful, useful life. Because right now in my time of partnership and ideas, I know I'm a happiness coach, but my happiness is feeling useful. So we basically have to define our own happiness, and my happiness is feeling useful. So me creating this content for you makes me super happy. Like, it makes me feel like I'm on stage, like I'm in the Super Bowl and this is my happy place. Or if I was really into Disneyland and I'm the happiest place on earth, like I just love walking around eating a turkey leg. Obviously, I'm not really into that. I'd rather be in front of a video game, being purposeful for myself into the game. And I think that's why video games resonate with me, because it's instant gratification. And I think that's why video games are so popular, is because it gives you that dopamine, probably, or whatever chemical reaction. Like, I just achieved that. I'm an overachiever too, so that's another play into my usefulness. But as a man, I want to feel useful too, because I think that's what we lost. We've lost this masculinity of usefulness. When men don't feel useful, they're basically just sitting around smoking weed, drinking too much, trying to medicate, self-medicate, and not be useful because no one validates their usefulness in the first place. But they've lost their way. You got to validate your own usefulness. You got to create your own. I'm doing this out of my 2-bedroom apartment all by myself. I'm the producer, the light guy, the sound guy, the editor, the content creator. I'm the entertainer. I'm my own happiness coach. Like, I'm doing it all in one package. And I hope to be an example and help you get to a better place with your life as well. So please reach out to me in comments, DMs, Instagram, DX World Media. Check out my book. Hope it helps you and your partner. When you buy it, make sure you list the email that you want to send it to. If it's a gift, just give me the email of the sender, and try to leave me a note. But once I get your order, I'll call you or text you or whatever, email you and make sure who is it for, and so I can do a personal message for you free of charge. All right. So after we've done, one of the reasons is number 9, personal growth. We just talked about that. Number 10, desire for children and family. Now, this is the old school. Hey, we got to get together. We got to have a physical, intimate relationship, marry, and have kids. For some individuals, being in a romantic relationship feels the desire to have children and start a family. Building life together with a partner and raising children can be a fulfilling and meaningful aspect of romantic relationships. In my 20s and 30s, I never really had that as a high priority until I met my wife, who had that as a high priority, and she validated me in my other areas of physical intimacy and personal growth. In my story, my previous relationship kind of ended it where you can't be husband. You're not husband material. And so that's what fueled me to find one. And I found one within a year and a half. And I got lucky because I guess once you push someone, like in a bad relationship, sometimes relationships end to help you grow and be better. But looking back, we should have tried to make it a we problem. Because then we could have at least addressed it better. If she was feeling that for 4 years, she should have found the courage to talk about it sooner, even though I was older than her, Or once she brought it up to my attention, I should have been not as hurt, but I couldn't. I was hurt. I was like, I thought everything was going right, and then all of a sudden you pulled the tablecloth from under me, and I fell off the table. And I had to pick myself back up. I did it by myself through like several books, self-help books. And that was ironically right after I had a good foundation of counseling. So I started using it on myself. Yeah. See, building life together. But I mean, everyone kind of knows about the desire for children part. It is true. But see, the thing I've noticed in relationships, it's very hard to pick a partner in a way. Because like, you're coming in to a relationship with everything you've done before, not addressing yourself. I mean, I didn't really address myself entirely, even after my own growth. I've actually grown a lot more since meeting my wife because I've gotten more confident in my decision making and my role as a father and husband. And like, I guess that's how it is, man. Life just unwraps itself. It's a present. And it's hard to be present every day. So I think that's what we need to try to do. We need to practice our breathing. Allow us to be grateful and in the moment. And find ways to support and love the people that we still have in our life that haven't left because they're afraid to make it a we situation, or that we're just totally hurt that they don't want to talk to you again. I've had that numerous times in my life, or even when I didn't even know I hurt them, they just disappeared from me, or they've moved on to other people. So ChatGPT ends their 10 reasons for being in a romantic relationship in this. It is important to note that the reasons people choose to couple up or be in a romantic relationship can vary widely and are highly individualized. Additionally, people's motivations for entering into relationships may evolve over time in response to changing life circumstances. I think that's what I was saying the whole time. Thank you, ChatGPT. Now, one thing to note about ChatGPT, it allows you to start thinking, to start practicing your critical thinking mind, but it's super general. It's more of a jump off, if you will. It is like a word mirror to help you practice your language and your critical thinking. See, that's the cool thing about AI. AI does all the basic work for you to create a foundational start. And then you've got to go into exploring your own ideas, your individualization of each response. If you're actually trying to read these over and have a moment with yourself, write down, hey, what do I think about this? What do I think about that? Write down your response. Put it in a drawer. Come back to it the next day or a week or a month or a year later. I mean, if you're going to be consistent in learning and teaching yourself something, you got to be consistent anyway. So shouldn't be more than a day or a week. And then revisit it, evaluate it with whoever you're in a partner with and stuff like that. But you could use ChatGPT for a lot of other things. You could, if you have any questions about ChatGPT, let me know. So hope you've enjoyed this. This has been a really good episode. Really good way for us to look back at our own relationship that you're in right now. And if you need any help, please reach out. I'm here for you guys. I'll make time for you. We'll set up a professional relationship where I be your emotional mirror. You can contact me at dxworldmedia.com or on my Instagram, dxworldmedia. If you want to help me subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, and also buy my book, morningafterdelight.com. We'll be able to set you up with that book, 12 recipes to enjoy after sex. That's right, morning after delight. You want to eat if you had your partner stay over, or you want to cook for her or him and then hopefully create emotional intimacy through your food to lead to a possible sex. Let's go, baby. Diggity, diggity, dog. Woo! This has been your boy, D Exclusive, where dreams choose you. Hee hee. Peace.